Hi there. In this lecture we see Bobby Fischer playing the EVANS Gambit against Sugerman. This is in 1964, a simultaneous display. So we have the Italian game and now the EVANS Gambit. c3, bishop a5, d4, e takes. White castles, d6, which is actually an inaccuracy. So the most accurate way it seems is knight ge7 for black to play it like this with d5. And the idea to try and actually castle queenside. So this position, queen d7, knight e4, bishop b6 to cover the c5 square against knight c5. Bishop b5 now has the threat of knight e5, so black should play knight f4 to vacate d5 in advance of knight e5. Here, if queen d2, knight g6, it's actually a small edge for black. If we go with knight e5 here, queen d5, this position is a small edge for black. So anyway, so knight ge7 does seem the key move here. But d6 is played. We have queen b3. Now bishop b6 is a mistake. But if knight h6, yeah, we take on h6, then take on f7 with advantage. Bishop e6, though, is a move for black. Black can just give back a pawn or try to. If we played queen takes e6 check, black's going to end up with a small edge here. And the thing is, though, we can play c takes d4. This position is going to be about even as well. We do have a tactic, knight takes e6, e takes. This tactic, it just simplifies, though. It's going to be about even here. So anyway, bishop e6 in a nutshell would have been the key move here, but bishop b6 was played instead. We have bishop takes f7 check, king f8. If king e7, we just want to try and rip open this diagonal as an option. e5 here is dangerous, rook e1. This is all pretty dangerous for black. In fact, we can keep our options open with this bishop to either go to g5 or a3. And also we can just play knight takes e5. This is a big advantage for white. So anyway, king f8 was played. We now have bishop takes g8, rook takes, and now Fischer goes slightly wrong with knight g5. There was actually a key defensive move available to black here, but black didn't play it. If c takes d4 instead, with the idea of sacking the d-pawn, this is the way to go actually. Taking on d4, knight c3, we've got a very big significant position here. Bishop can come to a3, and there's numerous attacking ideas here from this position. This is actually really nice for white. Even if white is a pawn down, it's well worth the pawn. Okay, but anyway, knight g5. So why is this inaccurate? Well, black blundered here with knight e5. The move that had to be played is black has to try and defend f7, that mate threat. The move that had to be played is actually queen e8. And let's say knight takes h7 check. We do get a small edge advantage, but not that much. So queen e8 definitely had to be played. But with if queen e7, then that's a disaster. Knight takes h7 check. And then we take the rook. That's a total disaster. And worse to come after. Check, check, check. It's all over. Check. Black would have to give up the queen here. Devastation. So yeah, queen e8 though is significantly a different story. It's x-ray defending the rook. So yes, in the case of knight takes king e7, the queen is defending g8. So queen e8 wasn't played. Knight e5 though is a huge mistake, because now guess what we play? 5 points. Yeah, knight takes h7 check works really well. Black resigned. If king e7, because if king e8 the rook is undefended, we would just take on g8. And if king e7, that walks into bishop g5 check, and then we're winning the queen. So yes, a pretty short and sweet game there from Fischer with the EVANS Gambit. Pretty instructive stuff. So let's recap the opening from a theoretical perspective. Yeah, this is really interesting. This is a slight inaccuracy, d6, letting white have a very nice position potentially. But yeah, what is interesting theoretically, after bishop e6, this position, we should just play c takes d4. But even more so than that is actually well, let's go on with the game. So this position, knight g5 here was in inaccuracy. C takes d4 is a very interesting gambit situation. Instead of trying to go for it, it's tempting to play knight g5, but this is actually, it does seem technically superior. Okay, interesting stuff. Thanks so much. Hi there. I hope you enjoyed that game sample. It's actually from my course, which you can find at the Kingscrusher TV page, which has great discounts. It's the Italian game Mastery, the Ideal Beginner's Opening. So just very briefly, if we click there, you can also see other free sample videos. Just do expand all sections, and you can see these preview links if you want to see other free previews and get an idea of the course yourself. I'm going to keep it short here. Just basically to say I had a fantastic time seeing many brilliant games in the Italian game. You can see from the number of collections how epic some of these games are, that they've been collected like hundreds of times at chessgames.com. And yeah, I really hope you check out this index and may consider getting the course. Okay, comments, questions, likes, shares appreciated. Thanks very much.